So if you keep pulling off your forehand, if you keep snatching at it, there's basically one or two underlying problems that are going on. The first one is potentially you're just a little bit too close to the ball. You don't have optimal spacing, because in order to use efficient biomechanics, we're going to be using an inside out swing path where we kind of swing out to the ball, and we need sufficient space between us and the ball to make that happen. If we get too close, we can't do that, and now we're kind of in there and we have to snatch at it and pull off it to make contact with the ball. The second thing that's potentially going on is that you're a little bit late on the ball. Now, ideally, we're going to be meeting the ball a little bit further out in front of our body. Can't always happen because sometimes you're in tough situations, but ideally we're going to be meeting that ball a little bit further out in front of our body. If we're too far back, so if the ball has come too far, our swing isn't early enough, or we didn't swing quickly enough, now we're here, and again, we can't extend through the ball properly. We can't use kind of efficient biomechanics. Now we have to snatch and pull off the shot. So the 1/2 underlying causes are being too close to the ball and making late contact. So in terms of your practice, that's what you're going to need to focus on trying to address. Part of that is the mental awareness and the deliberate practice of what you're trying to do. And when you're practicing something, you have to start off kind of really thinking about it. And that means you can only focus on one or two things at any one time. A lot of players make the mistake of trying to fix 20 different things. They're trying to do the split step, the unit turn, the elbow, the racket lag, and all these things, and the end result is nothing changes because our brain cannot focus on that much stuff. So you have to go, I'm either going to focus on the spacing, I'm either going to focus on the timing. Maybe you can work on two together, but you have to prioritize it within your training, work on it until you've developed good habits, and then once you've got those habits, then you're going to be able to, use more optimal biomechanics, and that's going to prevent you from kind of snatching and arming at the ball. Now, with all that said, it can be very challenging because they can be a couple of different things that really limit you and prevent you from doing this. The first one is going to be the footwork. Footwork is a major piece of the puzzle and one of the biggest things that holds lower level players back. In order to set up an optimal distance from the ball, so to prevent you from getting too close so you get jammed, you need good footwork because every single shot is different, and it's going to be the same thing for timing. In order to have good timing to meet the ball out in front, you need to arrive in position in balance so you can load off your outside leg and initiate the swing using the outside leg. If your feet aren't in the right position, it's really hard to drive through your hip efficiently to get good timing. So footwork is kind of the piece that holds all that together. You watch high level players play, they tend to use big steps to get to the ball to cover the ground, then they use smaller adjustment steps in and around the ball. And when you watch lower level players play, they tend to just use one or kind of two steps, plant their feet, and that's it. So it's all about using appropriate footwork and often making a lot more adjustment steps to make sure that you're the correct distance from the ball and that you're balanced and ready to use good timing. So you're most likely going to have to do some work to improve the quality of your footwork. And the way that you practice this is by breaking down the individual steps, practicing the split steps, practicing the first step, then practicing the different movements to the ball and the different adjustment steps. To help you with that, I've created a video that's going to show you some flow sequences that you can work on. I'll place a link down in the description so that you can start to go through those, because it's a really important piece of the puzzle. But it's not the only piece. There is potentially something else that's going to prevent you from having a good quality, efficient forehand where you're not getting, jammed and having to snatch off the ball. And that's going to be your ability to kind of predict and read where the ball's going, and your ability to kind of judge how far you are away from the ball as you're moving towards it. Everything that you do on court is based on how well you can see and visual processing. So in order for you to use the appropriate footwork to set up the right distance from the ball, and in order for you to start your swing at the right time so that you can meet the ball out in front, both of which are going to be required to prevent you from snatching, your visual system has to be capable of predicting where the ball is going to go, when it's going to arrive in that position, and it has to be capable of judging the speed of the ball and the distance that the ball is away from you so that you can make all the necessary adjustments. And the reality is most players' visual systems can't do this, and it's one of the biggest things that prevents them from solving the issues that they're dealing with on the forehand. The good news is you can actually train this stuff and improve it. There are often specific visual skills that there are deficits in which are creating problems in this area. We can assess them and we can train them. I've created another video that's going to show you a couple of the assessments. There's lots that we can do, but this video is going to show you 2 very specific assessments. I'll place that in the description so you can check it out. I've also got a number of different videos that show you some training drills to start to work on improving how your visual system functions. So I'm going to place one of those down in the description as well. So you've got a couple of different resources that you can start to work on for the visual side of things. You've got that resource in the description to start to work on the footwork, because it really is kind of a 3-pronged attack. You need an awareness, you need to structure your practice in the right way and focus on the underlying cause of this problem, but then your body needs to be capable of it. You need the footwork, you need the visual side of things. Now, if you would like additional help in this area, this is what I help tennis players with. I teach brain-based training to improve underlying skills, because having a technical and tactical understanding is very important. Coaching is very important, but if your body can't do something, it can't do it. And a lot of the time, players are trying to use really advanced techniques that they don't have the hand-to-eye coordination to make happen, but we can change that stuff. So you've got those resources in the description, but there's often a few more things that might need to happen for you to play tennis in the way that you really want to play. So if you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a free masterclass. It's going to go into a lot more detail. I'll place a link up there, and I'll place a link down in the description for that one too, so you can check it out. If you sign up for this free masterclass towards the end, it's going to tell you a little bit about my program and how I work with players and the next steps that are involved, if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, I hope you have found this video to be beneficial. A 3-step kind of approach to fixing problems. Go through your tennis strokes methodically. There are no magic tips that are going to give you instant massive power on your forehand. That's not the way it works. You have to be very systematic and logical and work on improving things over time. Okay, any questions about what we've talked about today? Leave me a comment down below, and I'll catch you next time.